Hello again, PlayStation Network members and YouTube viewers. John 11 Hot here. I just got done making a Witch Court, because I thought of this idea before, and if you watch the other video that I made where I mentioned Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd, aka / Doug Walker, and James Duncan Rolfe, or James D. Rolfe. I think James D. Rolfe is a lot better than saying Duncan. You don't know what I'm kind of thinking of, like Dunkin' Donuts. Now this video ain't completely the Backlash Nostalgia Critic and James D. Rolfe and everything, / aka the Video Game Nerd. Before I ended my last video where I was talking about the two, I was talking about how I'm a big, huge Godzilla fan. And, like I said in the last, close to the end of the last video, if anybody's seen Godzilla Final Wars, now this is where I was getting at before I ended up having to cut short because the video was like almost 15 minutes. Where I left off with that was, if anybody basically has seen in G-Fan magazine, I mean, if you're a big Godzilla fan, you basically collect G-Fan magazine. I basically had like maybe 2 issues, and that was pretty much it. Because I didn't get like too into the magazine or the book, and everybody basically had like pictures of how it would be like if the old version Godzilla came across the new version that came out in the 90s, which really sucked terrible. It sucked balls. I mean, but I'm gonna possibly review that, but I can't show it on. I don't have the video. I had the VHS of it, along with every single Godzilla movie I had for VHS, from the first one to pretty much the last few that they made, which was Godzilla vs. Destroyer. But that didn't end with Godzilla vs. Destroyer, because Godzilla's son, aka / Godzilla Jr., took over from the ending of Witch Court. Because if you ever see the ending to Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Godzilla's son gets injured, but what the soldiers do is they use these freeze rays, and they, because Godzilla's on a nuclear meltdown. He's like a nuclear reactor. He's like all red and shit. And I can pardon my French for cursing in this video. That's the one thing I must advise that I apologize for cursing, because it's just that I'm such a goody two shoes that I don't use the F word or such in my videos. But in this one, you're going to hear a lot of that, so just to be warned. But in Godzilla vs. Destroyer, the one and only Godzilla is basically like, at first we basically see a scene where there's an airport. Then from there we basically see a gigantic red glow type Godzilla wrapping around Hong Kong or something, and we basically find out the reason why he's glowing red in the movie is over the years, Godzilla had absorbed so much nuclear energy in his system because he went to nuclear reactors. I mean, I basically had Super Godzilla for the Nintendo, for the Super Nintendo, and I had Godzilla for the regular Nintendo, but I lost all my games too in this one, which really sucks. I mean, I didn't have the Game Boy version of it, and I kind of wish I had Godzilla too. But the one thing that was really cool, and I had this for PlayStation 2, the Godzilla games. There was like only 2 Godzilla games for it. But back to what I was talking about with Godzilla Final Wars. In Godzilla Final Wars, the Godzilla that was in the American version, which friggin' sucked. In the American version of that one, it sucked. But I'm not talking about the American version. What I'm trying to get to talking about is Godzilla Final Wars. Now, if anybody's seen that movie here on YouTube or any other website, or if you have the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever it comes out in whatever form, Godzilla, the Tokyo version, destroys the but the one thing though is his name in that movie ain't Godzilla or anything. Oh no, I think they called him Zilla or something like that. I mean, if you basically watch, try to find the information about that Godzilla, because it's the same exact Godzilla like the American version, but Godzilla totally kills him, like destroys him. I mean, wastes that Godzilla to waste. I mean, and you know what? I basically have to salute Toho for doing that, because thank you for destroying America's Godzilla. Thumbs up. Because the American version of Godzilla sucked really bad. And I have to agree with the nostalgia critic on that one. Yeah, they basically made the trailer so awesome. But the one thing that sucked is you basically see in a couple of commercials or trailers for the movie, which I'm going to tell you something. When I saw a giant foot, I'm like thinking, oh my God, this movie is going to suck terrible. Because, it has this giant foot that slams right into a museum, and that's all you get. And, it's like, because they're like in the movie, in the commercial or the movie trailer or whatever, they say that the Tyrannosaurus, they talk about the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay, clue. That's what Godzilla is pretty much going to look like, is going to look like in this movie, but it's going to look like a giant effing iguana. I mean, that's how bad the movie sucked. And, if I had to buy that movie again, I probably would. But to really tell you, I wouldn't call it a Godzilla movie. I would call it, you know what the hell I would call it? And I pardon my French for saying this word. No disrespect to the actors that basically played in it. The name of the movie they should have called it was Fuckzilla. You know why? Because the movie sucked. I mean, the movie friggin' was a piece of friggin' garbage compared to the Japanese version of Godzilla. And you know what? Why? What the hell were they thinking? Making a Godzilla movie basically what the fuck? The monster was a computer generated creature walking around Manhattan, destroying buildings, and then you got the military. Oh my God, where'd they go? And that's one of the things that I basically found really good about Nostalgia Critics' review on that is, it's a city. It's not like you can't fucking miss a gigantic lizard roaming around the city. It's a friggin' gigantic lizard. I mean, what are you gonna basically do? Why don't you just have a ton of people walk around the streets of Manhattan and see if they can find it? Oh my God! No wonder we didn't find him. He dug a hole in the ground. Duh! That's what they should have did in the Godzilla movie. They should have said, holy shit, he dug under the ground and basically is somewhere under the city. But did they do that? No. They basically ended up finding out that he was somewhere underground under the city. That's like close near the movie. That's when they find out that Godzilla is not a male lizard, he's a female. What the hell? I mean, if the Japanese version of Godzilla was to be a female, it would suck. It would suck real bad. I mean, let me tell you something. I have a lot of respect for Japanese, Tokyo, Hong Kong, all that other culture stuff. I'm a big Japanese fan. I would love to learn the Chinese language, Japanese language. Hell, I even eat Chinese food. That's how big of a Chinese fan I am. But I'm not saying that Chinese food is good for you, but but I basically found Godzilla Final Wars to be the most excellent Godzilla movie ever made in Japan, or Tokyo, or something. Because I'm not like I don't know the knowledge of all this stuff, so I'm just throwing out words. like like if you're a big fan of Godzilla like I am, and like possibly James D. Rolfe is, and his friend Mike, like and stuff like that. You basically, like, they know where the Godzilla movies were. Me, I basically, let me tell you something. When I basically saw a Godzilla movie, it was it was one of the Godzilla movies where he versus Mega Godzilla or Gigan or Megalon. I mean, I basically had for DVD, I have these ones for DVD. I have Godzilla Raids Again, which is the black and white version, where he first fights Anguirus, the giant Ankylosaurus dinosaur thing. And in that, in the end of that one, they basically, this is a spoiler if you didn't see it. They trap Godzilla. Yes, they trap him in in an avalanche full of snow and ice. And then, of course, he comes back in King Kong versus Godzilla. Now, the reason why King Kong is in the front of the title instead of Godzilla is because King Kong, if I believe, if I'm correct, you can correct me if you want, viewers. King Kong basically came out way before Godzilla because it was it was an American thing. But oh my God! But not the backlash that one, but could they have made King Kong look like King Kong instead of look like a Hunchback of Notre Dame with a fur coat? I mean, come on. But that was a good movie, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they actually gave they gave King Kong these awesome goddamn fucking electric powers. Like, it was the only way to basically get Godzilla to back off. So it was like so friggin' cool. Because anytime King Kong zapped Godzilla would scream like a baby. But the one thing was, it was like very disappointing that Godzilla lost that battle. I was like, go Godzilla, destroy King Kong! I mean, I love huge monsters and stuff, but my favorite monster out of the gigantic monster category is Godzilla. I'm gonna probably make another video talking about Godzilla and what movies I had for VHS and for DVD and stuff. Until next time, YouTube viewers, this is John 11 Hot saying, be a Chief fan! Oh yeah!